Jan in Mountain View. Jan, what's happening?
Yes, good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
What I wanted to bring up was that when Shanahan and Lynch were hired, the owner of the Niners, Jed York, he got out of the way. He let them build the team. He let them, take over and try to win the Super Bowl and get us to playoffs. Okay. Well, we haven't we've been to the Super Bowl twice now under Lynch and Shanahan. He goes ahead and lets the defensive coordinator go. Well, I feel that whoever they decide to get as the defensive coordinator, okay, I understand. I've heard this week that Shanahan has a different way of running his defense. Well, what if you just get out of the way and whoever you decide to take over, run the defense? You need to run the offense and pay attention to what the defense is doing on the other side so you can make adjustments to help out Purdy so he's not, if they're stacking the box or whatever they're doing, help out your quarterback getting around that instead of, taking all the blame for the defense.
Yep.
Look,
Jan, how long have you been a 49ers fan? How long have you been a 49er fan, Jan?
oh my God! Ever since back in Brody's days.
Wow.
And
wow, about that.
I'm just really disgusted. To think like, okay, go ahead and let whoever decides to take over as the defensive coordinator stop, paying attention to him and pay attention to the offense.
It did feel like he was
Jan, turn your mic on. Turn your mic on. Turn your mic on.
I'm sorry.
No.
It did feel like he was
Jan.
micromanaging the defense, especially like late in that game. And there's clearly like not on the same page. Trust, I don't know, but like he needs to take a little off of his plate and hire someone that he does trust. That I agree with.
Yeah, no, and he had that with D'Amico. He had that with Robert Saleh.
D'Amico was amazing.
I mean, Jan, good call, man. She really broke that down well, how to go. And that's the thing that Purdy said. He goes, Spags made an adjustment. They switched up their zone coverage. Spags said they had a heavy zone game plan for this football game against the Niners. They switched it up at the Brook. Purdy started 8 of 10 for 105 yards, and he went sticky man defense. And they went 10 in the box. We watched those safeties line up 8 yards off the line of scrimmage, and there was no adjustments. Kansas City had a season high 9 pressures that were untouched. McDuffie coming scot-free. Chris Jones coming scot-free, blitzing left and right. You can't beat man defense? What the hell is going on here? Vertical routes? What's going on with the vertical passing game? I agree 100% with Jan. He needs to sit with Brock Purdy during the timeouts. What's working here? Said that he's always off to the side by himself with the surface, and then Debo's going over trying to get the ball within. He force feeds Debo because that's his buddy. He gives Debo 11 targets and forgets about everybody else. Jan's on point, man. Shanahan is, oh man, I don't know, man.
So
I don't even know if he has the ego or if his ego will allow him to relent some of the duties that he has on game day.
That?
Look at everything. He's tripled down on overtime.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody in the world knows you should have kicked the ball off.
Well,
You gave up your advantage. And don't give me this stuff that the defense is tired. Because, hold on 1 second. The Super Bowl. They take a timeout every time a possession changes, they're going to commercial break. 3 minutes, 4 minutes, then you got the coin toss. So think about the end of regulation. They kick the ball off. Niners, we go in overtime. There's a TV timeout. People are chilling. Then you get the coin toss. You go through the coin toss. Heads or tails. Boom. You come off the field. That's enough rest for the defense to recover. That's plenty of rest. Well, I don't want to hear that stuff.
So because
he's so damn stubborn.
Well, no, it's okay. So, and just allow me to finish this thought, and you can disagree, and that's fine. Part of where I was going at with the body language, right, and how he was at the podium a couple of days later was that I wanted to see some sort of like reflection, some sort of, willing to say like, maybe I didn't think of that or something. And when I saw the same defiant stubbornness in terms of the body language and no, and it just, to me, it was like, damn, it was so metaphoric. I was like, maybe he didn't really change anything, and maybe he hasn't really learned anything, and maybe he thinks that all his decisions were right, and you're doubling down on certain things. It was like, really, dude?
He ruined your zone.
And I'm not saying the guy's got to go. I'm just saying, like, it's like I've defended you from like the high heavens, and I thought you were different. I thought you did change, and I thought you have grown. And I thought your relationship with certain aspects of the game, clock management, whatever, doubling up before half, like a lot of things I started to see turn in the right direction, and then it's like it's rearing right back this way. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. And that's where I guess my bigger takeaway was like my confidence in Shanahan, it's not gone. But it took a big shot, dude.
Well, it's the same.
I really thought he was going to hoist the Lombardi.
Nah, it's the same for me. It's the same. Super Bowl 54, I can't unsee it. I saw a guy coach scared in Super Bowl 54. Not calling the timeouts before halftime. A quarterback you don't trust, obviously, Jimmy Garoppolo. You throw the ball 4 straight times with a minute 49 left at the Kansas City 49-yard line. And even if you complete the pass to Emmanuel Sanders, Patrick Mahomes has a minute 30. We all see that Patrick Mahomes, if he has the ball last, he's going to beat you. So that was a poorly coached game by Kyle Shanahan. 2021, same damn thing. He even got conservative, and we don't talk about this enough, the wild card game against the Dallas Cowboys. All right? So to me, he's been the same guy. He's a very good coach, but he needs some help with some of these decisions. So for me, my confidence remains the same. The offense will cook. They will score, but when you play against sticky man defense with some dudes who got some boys up front and some sticky man cover corners, we're going to struggle. That's just, it is what it is.
The irony of rewatching Super Bowl 54 yesterday was like that second down pass that got batted down, pressure. The third down pass, I thought they had a pretty good pocket, but the fourth down pass, they didn't even get a throw off, pressure. And then I look at in this game, what were the 2 big plays, the 2 third downs, overtime and the end of regulation, pressure. Right? Like, it's just like.
So, my confidence is not shot when it comes to Shanahan. This is just who he is. This is who he's going to be.
So you've accepted it?
I did that in 2019 when everybody said, I've been labeled a Shanahan hater unfairly, which is why I've been sending tweets out saying, Bonta Hill, do not want Shanahan fired. Bonta Hill, have never want Shanahan fired. But we got to hold him accountable. And for so long, we dismissed it because we put all the blame on Jimmy. We put all the blame on Trey. Shanahan could do no wrong. I can hear Mark Willer right now. You fire Shanahan, there's a line around the block. And I may subscribe to that. I don't want to fire Shanahan. I don't. But this is who he is when you give him full control. He runs everything. So, and it's not changing.
So then I guess, with that being said, do you think he could ever win the Super Bowl?
They got close twice.
Well, do you feel better today than maybe, let's say, during the middle of the year that he could win a Super Bowl?
I don't know, because things could happen. You could go to the Super Bowl, I feel real good about it, quarterback gets hurt. Boom. And then I don't feel good. You know what I'm saying? So can he get there? I feel good that he's going to be in contention for an NFC championship to get to the Super Bowl.
This might sound
but
stupid.
Can he win the big game? Can he do it with the decision? I saw the same decision making he made at Super Bowl 54. Now all of a sudden everybody's onto it. This guy did this 5 years ago. 5 years ago.
Well, I think therein lies the frustration there with this whole thing with Kyle Shanahan, that like we see where the issues are and just kind of his decision making in these big games. And to what you were saying, Shasky, like what your frustration was, it's like, dude, you got to learn from your mistakes in these situations.
That's my.
And I think that's what's like. You don't want to let Shanahan go because you know, like it's all there. He has that ability to get you there, but he's not putting his own 2 and 2 together. It seems like.
But here's my thing.
Good point.
I don't give a damn about what he says on the podium. I care about what you do on Sundays, Mondays, Thursdays, and sometimes Saturdays.
But when your actions, agreed.
That's what I care about.
I agree.
Because Bill Belichick is the biggest prick in the world.
No, but you're missing the point.
He was the biggest prick. No, I'm not missing the point. I hear what you're saying. You wanted to hear him show some remorse for you, for your soul. I could care less. The game's not going to change. The result's not going to change.
Well, the actions and the words are matching, essentially.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, your actions are repeating, and then your words are repeating days later, so you don't think you've done anything wrong, so you can't learn anything. Right. That's where I'm coming from. Like, if you're not willing to accept your shortcomings, how can you grow from it?
I don't know. He agrees with his analytics. He agrees with everything.
But then we're going to repeat it again. It's frustrating.
Maybe. But Bill Belichick was a prick. All these coaches are prick. Sean Payton yells at media reporters all the damn time with the visor on. Like the whole podium thing, I could care less. I care about the results. And whatever he said at the podium, he could have said, Bonta and Shasky, I really regret the overtime. I should have listened. I should have kicked all that stuff. it doesn't change the result of the game. The game is done.
So then how
lost
do you
it because of
growth?
his
How do you prove growth?
I don't know. We're going to see. I thought he growed this year. He was more aggressive with his play calling.
And then
He trusted Brock Purdy at times. You know, I mean, he showed growth a little bit this year. They averaged 30 points a game.
That's my they did show growth, but then they reverted back into these big games where there were these moments in
actually, they
clock
did show
management.
growth. You know why? Because they rallied from 2 playoff games. Came back from a 17-point deficit, and they came back from a 7-point deficit going to the fourth quarter, which Shanahan had never done in his tenure as head coach of the 49ers. So they actually did grow a little bit.
Okay.
They showed the ability to come back in football games.
So then how do you weigh that with what happened in the Super Bowl?
Oh, the Super Bowl, it's just made bad decision after bad decision. Got tight. Got out-coached. He got out-coached.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
He got
you show
out-coached by
growth and
Spags.
then you show, you revert back. So that's where I'm
No,
struggling.
he got out-coached. He got out-coached.
And they got outplayed. Those both, I can't argue with you.
So, I mean, like, all I'm saying is I don't give a damn what he said this week at the podium. I really don't. I don't care. I don't care what he looked like. I don't care what he said. What happened Sunday is not changing. They lost in overtime, 25-22. The guy could have told me everything and made you say, like, what could he have possibly said that made us all feel good about a Super Bowl loss at the podium? Oh, man, I made a mistake here. I made a mistake there. I made a mistake here. That doesn't change anything for me.
Well, I would
You
start,
know what I'm saying?
like,
Like, I just meet me halfway.
This is what I was looking for. Like, I've wrapped my head around it a million times. And yeah, I might have been wrong on it, but here was my thought process in real time. I don't know. Next time that situation presents itself, I'm going to look at it a little different when it's Mahomes on the other side. For example, he said, and this is where it's contradictory, you got to be aggressive to beat a Mahomes and a Brady. Simultaneously, he says later on in that same press conference, it felt like a field goal game. Well, wait a minute. You just said that you're going up against Brady and Mahomes and that the equations are different, and then you revert back to it felt like a field goal game when everyone and their moms knows that's not a field goal game.
Well, same thing happened in the Super Bowl. It was 10-10. And John Lynch is screaming for timeout in the suite. It's Super Bowl 54. It's just, it doesn't change, man. They got out coached. Spags kicked Shanahan's ass. Baldy said that was the matchup to watch. We all watched the matchup. Spags owned them. He owned the offense. They had no response to their blitz packages. Purdy got blitzed 51% of the time. He was one of the better quarterbacks when it came to beating the blitz. Well, they didn't do it well Sunday. And so no matter what happens afterwards, it's not going to change the fact the 49ers lost Super Bowl 58. And they're still on the title drought. Been since 1994. No matter what Ayuk said, McCaffrey said, Kittle said, Debo said, words are just words.
Well, but here's where you run the risk. And you saw this with Seattle. The dissension after the decision to not hand the ball off to Marshawn Lynch, it had a ramification that really, it festered a lot.
Terrible decision. Ruined them.
But it festered a lot of anger with a lot of those players. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
And I think the way it was handled afterwards had as much of an impact as the actual play call itself. There was a lot of finger pointing. And so I'm hoping that they can all move on from this and find a way to, but time's going to tell on that. Guys are in their feelings, and rightfully. They just lost the Super Bowl. They lost the Super Bowl.
That's why I can't be mad at Shanahan for, he's stubborn. He could be stubborn. He could be a you-know-what. He could be an a-hole. That's just who he is. But you know what? He got out-coached, and he's got to live with that. He does. Let's go to